My question to the Deputy Premier. Deputy Premier, I want to tell you for a second about Stanpac. They're a manufacturer in my riding in Smithville, close to where I live. They make specialty packaging, tamper evident. This is a huge demand. We want to make sure you have safe food packaging, particularly in the States. So here's the catch. They have a plant in Smithville that I mentioned. They also have one in Texas. And the recent hydro bills in April showed that the cost per kilowatt hour in Ontario was 13.7 cents all in. And in Texas, it was 6.9 cents all in. So sadly, more than twice as expensive now in Ontario because of your expensive energy schemes. When they hear about even more ideas to make life more expensive for consumers and businesses, what should I tell them? I want to invest in Ontario. You're making it expensive. I'm worried those jobs go to the United States.
Thank you. Minister of Energy.
Speaker, I appreciate the question from the member, and there are some differences across North America, Mr. Speaker, but in terms of industrial electricity prices in North America, we are extremely competitive, Mr. Speaker. We are more competitive some of our northern U.S. states, Mr. Speaker. The numbers have been verified, Mr. Speaker. The IESO and the Ontario Chamber of Commerce have looked at the comparables, Mr. Speaker.
Order.
But I will say, Mr. Speaker, our Jobs and Prosperity Fund is used to help attract companies to Ontario. In some U.S. jurisdictions, they lower the price in order to attract them, Mr. Speaker. If you look at what we're providing from the Job and Prosperity Fund and compare it to a number of U.S. jurisdictions, Mr. Speaker, we have much stronger Mr. Speaker, they're asking why they're leaving. Ontario is attracting, Mr. Speaker, more direct investment than any other jurisdiction in North America, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. The member from Simcoe Grey, please come to order. Supplementary.
Thanks, Speaker. What I worry is the government's hydro policies are making America great again. Not Ontario. It seems to be catching on. Look, I'll be glad to provide the minister the copy of the bills. He says that we're extremely competitive. I mean, here's the evidence between the plants in Texas and Ontario. If I get a page where the costs are more than twice as high. This annualizes to $650,000 a year. I would much rather see that invested in new equipment, creating more good jobs in the province of Ontario. And then when they hear this latest scheme where there seems to be a strange ideological hostility towards natural gas, making life more expensive for Ontario's manufacturers. I mean, it's one thing on top of another. I worry the last one out is going to turn off the lights, Minister. How about this? Why don't we make life more affordable for Ontarians and make it more attractive for manufacturers with affordable hydro and natural gas?
Be seated, please. Thank you. Minister.
Mr. Speaker, I'm sure some U.S. states are pointing to Northern Ontario because they have such low industrial electricity rates, Mr. Speaker. I was in Timmins 2 weeks ago, Mr. Speaker, where we announced some winners under the IEI program, Mr. Speaker, where they're getting, for the finance mines, Mr. Speaker, they're getting 50% off their hydroelectricity in Northern Ontario, Mr. Speaker. If you want some examples, Mr. Speaker, jurisdictions that have higher prices than Ontario include New York, Indiana, Wyoming, Prince Edward Island, Nova Scotia in terms of industrial, Massachusetts, New Hampshire, Kansas, Nebraska, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, and many more, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you.